If you've ever been to a Catholic church, you know that an essential part of the Catholic liturgy, the priest will say, "The Lord be with you," to the congregation, and the congregation responds by saying, "And with you as well." Tom Toole, a friend of mine, tells of an incident that occurred to a friend of his who is a priest. That morning there was something amiss with the microphone on the lectern, so the priest began by saying, "There's something wrong with the microphone," and the congregation responded, "And with you as well." From childhood, I grew up believing in God. It was not until I was in college that my unwavering belief in God began to waver, because I was challenged by atheistic and really smart professors to answer their arguments against God's existence. And frankly, I couldn't. I had to admit that at that point my belief in God had been handed down to me like a family heirloom. What I mean is, my grandparents bequeathed belief in God to my parents, who entrusted it to me. But now, I could not avoid the ontological question, does God really exist? And the epistemological question, how do I know for certain that God exists? It was during this period of really tormented intellectual uncertainty that I discovered the French mathematician Blaise Pascal's wager. Having developed the calculus of probability theory, Pascal suggested that belief is a wise wager. He wrote, "Granted that faith cannot be proved, what harm will come to you if you gamble on its truth and it proves false? If you gain all. If you lose nothing." Pascal's wager helped me, as did the writings of others, the brilliant Oxford University scholar C.S. Lewis and his contemporaries J.R.R. Tolkien and G.K. Chesterton. However, I wonder if any of us can ever say with total, absolute certainty that God exists. Because if we could, there would be no need for faith. When doubts arise, and I admit that they still do, I take solace in knowing that even the followers of Jesus believed and yet doubted. The Gospel of Luke, for example, records that when the risen Christ appeared to his followers in the upper room, Jesus' first question to them was, "Why are you troubled, and why do doubts arise in your minds?" Why? Well, it was likely because they had confused the purpose of the coming of the Messiah. Some disciples may have expected Jesus to ascend to a throne, and instead, he was hoisted upon a cross. Others had already begun to squabble over who would fill major positions in his new kingdom, and now were stunned by his willingness to so easily give up his life. Even one of the 12, who knew him best, is often referred to as Doubting Thomas. So if those who followed Jesus most closely and believed him to be the Messiah entertained doubts, maybe I wasn't alone in my struggles. And the compassion that Jesus showed his doubting disciples was reassuring to me. Jesus used their doubts to clarify his true mission and to solidify their faith. And so I'm thankful during my college years that I had mentors who embodied the words written in the book of Jude, "Be merciful to those who doubt." And I needed a lot of mercy. Through the years, I'm grateful to say that I have found strong and compelling evidentiary support to buttress my belief. Consequently, I have bet my life on my belief in the existence of a living, loving God revealed in Jesus Christ. As you continue on your journey, will you use doubt to encourage or discourage you from discovering what you really believe? That's something to consider.